everyone, and welcome back to the CricBlog Podcast team previews for IPL 2021. In this segment, we'll be looking at Kolkata Knight Riders, a team, one of the most successful teams in IPL that's had a very tough last couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see if they can improve this year. Nash, what are your immediate thoughts about the Knight Riders and who would be in your starting 11 for them this season?
To start with, I'll straight away dive into the starting 11 for KKR, and I have Shubman Gill and Rahul Tripathi at the top to open. Pretty balanced opening partnership there, and then Dinesh Karthik comes in at number 3, with Morgan to follow, and then Andrew Russell at 5. I've put Nitesh Rana at 6, but depends what the situation is. He can also come up at number 4, and then that pushes Morgan at number 5, and then Russell at number 6. So those 3, 4, 5, and 6 can move up and down. And then Sunil Narayan at number 7, Harbhajan Singh at number 8, Pat Cummins at number 9, Varun Chakravarti at number 10, and Prasidh Krishna at number 11. So in the fast bowling department, they have Pat Cummins, Prasidh Krishna, and Andrew Russell. And then in the spin bowling, they have Varun Chakravarti, Harbhajan Singh, and Sunil Narayan. And obviously, Nitesh Rana gives them another option of spin bowling here and there, a couple of overs. And I think that's a pretty balanced side with Owen Morgan as the captain this year. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's their mindset, the way they approach the game and the way they approach the season. I think he will set things straight from the start. So, and then obviously we haven't spoken about players like Ben Cutting. We haven't spoken about players like Karun Nair, Kuldeep Yadav, Lockie Ferguson, Shakib Al Hassan. Yes, definitely. And, Shivam Mavi, who are really Team Seifert, who has been in good form. So, they have almost another 11 that could make, proper team. So it's looking a good balanced side, but I don't have them in my top 4 this year, which is a big call. And again, as I said, it depends on how all of them gel together, because, Sunil Narayan and Harbhajan Singh are, I think, well past their prime now. And I think it will be really key how Pat Cummins goes and Morgan and Andrew Russell go. And I'm really excited to see Shubman Gill at the top. I think he'll do really good this season, but I don't see them getting into the top 4.
Yeah, I hold similar views to you in terms of the possible playing 11 and also what they'll achieve this season. I think they're a very dangerous side, but like you said, I don't know if they gel together very well. And another thing I will add is the wicket-taking ability of their pace bowling department was an issue for them last season. And it could be another issue for them this year. Like potentially, if they, even if they don't play, if they don't play Lockie Ferguson in the early parts of the season, it's actually hard to see how he gets a game if they play Pat Cummins. So I've got Shubman Gill and Rahul Tripathi opening. I've got Nitish Rana there at 3 because of the damage he can do higher up the order. Owen Morgan at 4.
Yep.
I think Morgan needs to take a lot more of that responsibility this season. The more he can elevate himself up the order, the better it is for the team. I've got Dinesh Karthik in at 5 because he's done well for India in the past, and he's done well in T20 cricket in the past of finishing the innings well and providing some really good impetus in the back end of the innings. Then Andre Russell at 6, Sunil Narayan at 7. But those 2 players in particular have to perform well straight away because there's good replacements waiting in the wings. The same applies for Pat Cummins at 8. I'll start with him, but he needs to perform with Lockie Ferguson there in the team as well. Varun Chakravarti at 9. I've actually gone with, it depends on the conditions, whether the KKR want to play another spinner or they want to play another seamer. I think Nagar Koti is a good up-and-coming pace bowler. And then Prasidh Krishna as well. The thing with KKR, as I mentioned, is they've got to get some wickets up front with the ball. That's an area they really struggled in last season.
True.
And then they were catching up all the time. And because Andre Russell's got issues with his knee, I don't know if he'll do a lot of bowling. So it really comes down to those frontline seamers, how well they can bowl, and making sure that they're taking wickets up front so they can build on in the middle overs, and then they reduces the pressure on them in the back.
And I think both those bowling lineups will be kept together by that presence of Pat Cummins in there. I think we all know what he can do. He's a magnificent bowler. He's probably one of the best bowlers in the last 2 years in all formats. And it's just that so you looking at your playing 11, you won't have Harbhajan Singh in there just for the fact that he's a lot more experienced. He's been there, he's done all this before, just to give that added advantage to the youngsters in the team.
My concern is if you don't play if you play Harbhajan Singh, you've got two seam bowlers there if Andre Russell doesn't bowl.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Andre
fair enough.
Russell, I don't think Andre Russell will do a lot of bowling. His knees are completely shot.
Yeah.
He's had past hamstring issues. So I think they might get him to do more of a role with the bat this year.
Yeah.
So that might leave them a little bit short in their bowling because then if Russell doesn't bowl, then it's their top six. None of them will bowl.
Yeah.
So they'll play with 5 bowlers, and that leaves them. That could be a bit of a concern for them going forward. So that's why I think Russell with the bat is going to be crucial with them. And then I think you've got to play another seamer early on, especially if you're not playing on turning pitches or slower pitches, so that you can cater for for Andre Russell not doing a lot of bowling.
And is that what you would say their weakness is this time? Is Andre Russell not bowling, and how he goes with their injury?
Concern.
Yeah,
that's a concern for them. You can always bring someone in like a Shakib or Ben Cutting in place of Russell, but then you lose that incredible power that Russell has with the bat.
Definitely.
So it's a tough one. Ideally, they want him bowling, but I can't see him bowling right throughout the season with his injury worries. I've also got a problem with as I mentioned earlier, the wicket taking ability of the seamers. I was looking at bowlers like Shivam Mabi and someone like Kolkata Knight. They could be doing more in terms of wicket taking, even in domestic cricket. So they've got to really add that element to their game.
Yep.
I love their middle order when it comes to batting. There's a lot of flexibility there and a lot of experience and great power, but it's just their 11 doesn't look as balanced as some of the other teams in the tournament, and that could have them in a bit of trouble potentially throughout the year.
Well, I mean, speaking about the positives on for KKR, I think it will be definitely the strengths will be the captaincy, isn't it? Eoin Morgan, what he brings to the team as a captain, he's been one of the best white ball captains in the last 4 or 5 years, and if he brings the same approach and the same mindset that he has at England, if he adapts that for KKR, I think you never know, they might surprise you, but KKR just doesn't have those players that England has. They don't have a Butler or a Bairstow kind of player at the top. Yes, there's Shubman Gill, but he's the only one. Then you have Tripathi, Rana, and Dinesh Karthik, where I don't think they can do the same job that Morgan gets from his players at England. So I think it will be really, really interesting to see what mindset and what approach he brings as a captain to the team.
That's important. Morgan will back his players like he does for England. I think it's very important, and he sort of takes control with the bat as well and leads by example in that area, because for England, he was not really a factor in the T20 series in particular.
Definitely.
Against India. So I think he needs to really take control in this KKR team. Lead by example with the bat, and then just let that filter through the team. And then, he's a very good leader of men, Morgan.
Yeah.
So
and where do you see them finishing?
Capable. Look, I said CSK will just miss out.
Yeah.
I think teams will be very similar to last season. Teams 5 to 8 will be separated by a very small margin. It'll be close.
So you only have number 7.
Remaining. 7 and 1 remaining.
Yes, and 3.
I don't think they'll finish in the top 4, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I'm willing to probably put CSK a little bit lower. Actually, I want to make a bit of a change to my 1 and 4 predictions. But to be honest with you, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
In case you finishes there, you've missed out on the playoffs. I'm thinking KKR. I think, look, they've got too much talent to not be in the race throughout the season. But I just feel they lack a bit of that balance to go through. I'll have them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push CSK to 7, and I'm going to put KKR at 5. That's what I'll do.
Okay,
So it's
I,
really
I have
hard to make a
KKR.
call.
Yeah, I have KKR at 7 because for the exact reasons that you outlined earlier, I don't think they'll gel together, and I don't think they'll do the job this season.
Yeah. I think from a CSK perspective, they lack a lot of power that the other team possess with the ball. With the bat. So that's why I've got them. It's down. They'll be thereabouts. I think even all the teams who finish outside the top 4, heading into the last couple of games of the season, they'll all be in the running. That's what you often find, because every team is capable of doing some wonderful things on their day. But I think KKR will be challenging, but they'll just miss out.
Definitely. So on that note, I think that's our preview of KKR done for 2021 IPL season. And I'm really looking forward for the last 2, which are Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians. Please, to all our listeners, watch out for those team previews for 2021 IPL season. And thank you for listening.